Hi guys, welcome back. So this is going to be broken into two videos. The first video is going to be about central angles, and then the second video is going to be on arc measures. So there's a couple notes we got to go through, and then hopefully you guys have a piece of paper out so you can be writing these things down. But these are the main definitions we need. So it says a central angle is an angle with its center, its vertex at the center of a circle, and its two sides are radii of the circle. The sum of all the central angles in a circle is 360. So that makes sense. So an example of this is angle ABC over here. So this is the center of our circle. This angle is a central angle because it's an angle that is in the center. It has the vertex right in the center of your circle. And then these sides of it are radius. So AB and BC are both radii of that circle. And then we know if we add up all of the central angles right here that it should be 360 because that's a circle. And then another important fact is the degree of the arc. So this arc right here that's formed by the endpoints of the center angle is equal to the degree of the central angle. So since this angle is 84, we know that the measure of this arc AC, so that's what they mean by this, this is just the measure of the arc AC, is also equal to 84. So the central angle equals the arc as long as it's intercepting and they have the same angle right here. So then if you want to know the measure of the big arc, which is represented with three letters, you have ADC. So this is arc ADC. So it's the major arc versus this is the minor arc. You know, the entire circle is 360. So if I just subtract out this 84, I should get that this arc right here is going to be 276. So we're going to use these facts and we're going to go through some of these examples, and then you guys are going to do this in your homework. So here's the first one. It just wants you to find all of the measures of the angles and the arc measures that they identify over here. Okay, so the first thing they give us is that the central angle in here is 21. So that means that this arc also has to be 21 degrees. So the measure of arc JK is 21 degrees. Okay, and then they want to know the angle of JNM. So JNM. So we're looking for this guy right here. Now, what you should be able to notice is that this is a diameter of your circle. So that means that it's cutting your circle in half, which means that both of these two angles have to add up to 180 degrees. So to get this one, I would just do 180 minus 21, and I would end up with 159 degrees. Okay, and then it also wants to know the measure of the arc KL. So in using vertical angles, we know that this should also be the same angle as this one because they're vertical angles. So if this whole arc is 159, that means this whole arc has to be 159 degrees as well. Okay, now we want to know the measure of the arc JKM. So JKM is going to be this whole arc right here. And it looks like we have an 180 degree right here between these because this is your diameter. So all the way from M to K, that's gonna be 180 degrees. And you just have to add in this little slice right here. So this would be 180 plus 21, and we would get that this is gonna be 201 degrees for this major arc right here. And then the last arc they want us to figure out is they want us to know MKL. So this huge MKL. So all it's doing is it's excluding this little piece, this little arc right here. We know that these two arcs should be the same because they're vertical angles. So to get this one, you're just going to do 360 minus 21, and you'll end up with 339 degrees. So you're really just using vertical angles, that central angles are equal to their arcs, and that all of your angles add up to 360 degrees. And then continue to move on. Okay, so let's do another one of these. So let's say they want us to do UXV. So they want us to figure out the angle of this guy right here. So the first thing that we are able to do is, so they give us that this is 72 right here. So then we can tell that this also has to be 72 because these are vertical angles. So directly across, they have the two lines creating them. So those are vertical angles. So if this arc is 72, that means this arc also has to be 72 degrees. So this would be 72 degrees because the arc and the center angle are going to be equal. And then if we want to know ST, well, now we know this is 72. And then we know that this is a diameter. So we know that all of the angles on this side have to add up to 180. So if I do 180 minus 87 minus 72, I'll end up with this little angle right here. And so I should end up with that being 21 degrees. So this is 21. Okay, and then we want WV. So again, we're looking at this side of the circle. This adds up to 180 degrees. All I have to do is subtract the 72. So let me switch colors so we can see. So we're looking for just this measure of its arc. So I would do 180 minus 72, and I would get this one to be 108 degrees. So this arc is 108 degrees, which also means this angle inside of here is 108 degrees as well. And then we want to know TW. So to get TW right here, you're just going to add the 72 plus 21, and you'll get 93. And then the last one, we want to know TWV, the measure of arc TWV. So let me switch colors so we can draw this in. So we want to know TWV, so that whole arc right there. And now we know what all of these are. So we know this is 21, this is 72, and that this one was 108. So if I just add all of those together, I should get that this is going to be 267 degrees. Okay, so I hope that makes a little bit of sense. Let's do maybe one more of these where you have a 90-degree angle, and then we'll go down to doing some equation ones. So let's do this guy. So they give us PQ, we want to find PQ, and the first thing you should recognize is that these are vertical angles. So if this is 19, that means this angle inside of here is 19, and then they gave us that this is a 90 degree. So in order to get the measure of this angle, thus the measure of this arc, you would just do 90 minus 19, and you would get that arc to be 71 degrees. So this is 71. Okay, next thing they want us to know is SR. So we want to know this arc measure right here. Well, we know if we cut the circle in half again, that it's this arc plus 19. So to get this one, you're going to just do 180 minus 19. So you end up with 161 degrees for that purple arc right there. Okay, and then they want us to do QRT. So they're wanting us to find QRT right here. So we did just figure out what this arc is. We know that this is 161. So then all you do to get this is 19 plus 19 plus 161. And then you should get that this is 199 degrees. And then we want measure of arc PSR. So PSR is going to be, let's see, what's the color? We haven't used this guy. PSR is going to be this whole thing. So we know that this angle is 90 degrees. So I'm just going to take the full circle and subtract out this 90 degrees. So 360 minus 90, this should be 270 degrees. And then the last one they want us to find here is PS. So I want to find this right here. Well, if this is 90 degrees, that means this also has to be 90 degrees because this line is a diameter. So on this side, it should be a total of 180. So this is also 90. So to get just this little arc PS, I do 90 plus 19, and I get 109 degrees. So it's just 90 plus 19. So you guys are just using your angle facts, working yourself around. And then again, the main fact is just that your central angle is equal to the arc angle. Okay, and then you're going to start using some formulas to try to solve this out. So I want you to find each value. So for this one, it wants us to find x. So what they give us is they give us this arc is equal to this, and they give us that this little arc is equal to 26. Now the first thing you should be able to recognize is that this is half of a circle. So it means that these two arcs should add up to 180 degrees. So you're going to do 15x minus 26 plus 26 should equal 180 degrees. And then those nicely cancel. Divide both sides by 15, and we should get x is equal to 12 for this one. So your final answer should be x is 12. So half a circle, 180. Okay, and this one they also want us to find x. So let's see what they've given us. They gave us that this arc is 8x minus 2. They've given us this arc is 15, and then they've given us that this whole arc is 103. So first thing you want to look for is a relationship. So I know that this line and this line, those chords are the ones that create these two arcs. So those are technically vertical angles. That means this whole angle is equal to this whole angle. So if that's true, then that means these arcs need to be equal. So you're going to set up your equation to be 18x minus 2 plus 15 should equal 103. And then you're just going to solve. So what? This becomes 18x plus 13 equals 103. Divide by 18, so we should get x is equal to 5 for this problem. Okay, and then this one is also very similar. You should see that you have this arc is this, and then this one is also this, and they're created by the same chord. So that means that these inside central angles are going to be equal. That means these arcs have to be equal. So you're going to do 8x plus 12 equals 10x minus 22, and then you just solve. So let's add 22. Subtract 8x, so then this cancels and this cancels. So we've got 34 equals 2x divided by 2 x is 17, and then some of these problems are going to just ask you to like continue to find things. So you know x is 17, so if you want to find the measure of arc AD, they do give you arc AD right here. So you know arc AD is equal to this. So I'm just going to plug the x value I got into that equation right there. So 8 times 17 plus 12. If you plug that in your calculator, this gives you 148 degrees. So that arc is 148 degrees. Remember, when we're doing arcs, you just want to put degrees on there. And then we want to know CD. So at this point, we've said this is 148, and then we're going to try to find what this angle is. Well, we should recognize this is a diameter again. So in order to get the measure of arc CD, you're just going to do 180 minus 148, and you should end up with this being 32 degrees. And then the very last thing we're going to find is the measure of arc BDC. So that's going this whole direction because you go from B to D to C. And so the only thing that's excluded is this angle right here, which we know is the same as this angle, which is 148. So to get this last one, you're just going to do 360 minus 148. And then you should end up with an answer of 212 degrees. So that's how you guys work through these problems. Let's see. Let's maybe do one more of these. Let's do number 9. So let's see the relationship that they have going on here. So let's see, we have this arc is 8x. We have this arc is 21x minus 12. We have this arc is this, and then they do give us that this one is 90 degrees, so this is going to be a 90-degree arc. So they gave us the entire circle. So what we know is that all of those arcs added together should equal 360. So if you do 90 plus 8x plus 21x minus 12 plus 10x plus 9, all of those should equal 360. So then if I just start to combine like terms, I combine all of my x's here, this ends up being 39x. And then if I combine all of these random numbers without an x, that ends up being plus 87 equals 360. And then you're just going to solve. So then we got 39x equals 273 divided by 39. You get x is equal to 7. Okay, so you get 7 up here, and then you just work your way through what you know. So if you want to know wx, you would just plug 7 into this equation right here, and you would get that the measure of arc wx is 135 degrees. Yw is this whole arc. So you would plug in 8 times 7, and then you would add 90 degrees to that to get that entire arc. So you would get YW is going to be, what? 146 degrees. And then you want the measure of arc YX. So here, same thing, just plug in 7. So this would be 79 degrees. And then the very last thing is going to be the major arc. So we want VXW, nope, wrong way. VXW is going to be that whole blue circle right here. So all you're excluding is this guy right here, which we said was W just 8 times 7. So to get this one, you do 360 minus 8 times 7. And then you would end up with 304 degrees. So really, it's just a lot of working through, realizing patterns, doing what you can. And then I do just want to talk through what you guys would do here, but we're not going to solve it all the way. So you can realize that that arc is equal to this, and that this arc is equal to this. And then I hope you realize that that's a diameter. So the way you'd start this is 5x plus 23 plus 17x minus 41 should equal 180. Solve it down for x, and then you guys would use that to find these arc measures over here. Okay, so that's really all you need to know about central angles. Come back for video number 2, and we'll start talking about arc length. Then I'll give you a formula, and then we'll just go through a couple of examples. So look out for that next video. As always, if something doesn't make sense, please make sure you guys are just reaching out, and I hope you guys are all doing well.